Yo, everyday Superpower signing in. Gonna put you on some game today. We're talking relationships, we're talking attraction, we're talking seduction. This works for the men, for the women. It's some food for thought, alright? Everybody's different. You might be able to pull it off, you might not. You might see this in regards to where I'm coming from, and you might not. But here's some food for thought, yes? So, when we use particular words in our vocabulary, let's say pleasure, that's a pleasure. And the way we say it in regards to what we're describing, whether it be ourselves, whether it be something else, when we're communicating with somebody else, it could even be in text. We could engage a series of thoughts in that other person's brain. We could communicate an underlying language, an insinuation of such, okay? And the same happens with the physical, with the aesthetic, okay? We've done a brief video on this, but we can go a bit more in depth into it in due time. I've spoken on anchoring, alright? So let's say I make you laugh, and during that time I physically touch you on the elbow, alright? And we do this a few times, and then sooner or later you relate my touching of the elbow to the physical feeling of laugh. We have anchored a feeling and something else, essentially, a physical touch, but this could connect to a word and so on and so forth, alright? This relates to all of that. It's finding relation from bit to bit to bit. Now, I'm talking about the bedroom now, and what happens in a bedroom. So, when you face the outdoor world and you're a little bit unkempt, okay, we call it bedhead, or at least that's what some people used to do. In the early 2000s, there was at least in England, there was a hair gel called bedhead, alright? Ruffle the hair up a little bit. Maybe if you're wearing a t-shirt or, like a button-up t-shirt or something, you can undo the top few buttons. It doesn't have to be straight off of the ironing board. Can be a little bit crinkled here and there. You could roll the sleeves up. Now, when you're engaging with somebody whom you might find attractive or who might find you attractive, we have an underlying element. We are subconsciously provoking what they may associate your fluffed up hair with, your deep breathy voice, As opposed to her natural stunning beauty, Marilyn Monroe was sexualized and objectified for reasons outside of her actual aesthetic appearance. It was the way she moved, it was her coy body language, it was the regressive feeling she provoked in those who saw her in her youthful feminine charm. And one of the most powerful tools she utilized was the slow, breathy, lower tone voice. That can be heard in the bedroom. So when you bring that to the outside world and the elements from there on in, you can engage an ulterior message. A lot of people think you have to be crisp and sharp and everything in between, but there's a reason why glam rockers with their unkempt hair and their smudged makeup and, I'm just speaking from men, to be fair, but as far as smudged makeup and lipstick and so on and so forth is concerned, blurred makeup, what would you call it, mascara and eye shadow and so on and so forth. It's in relation to the party girl and where's she been? She's been to bed and woke up in this state. But a lot of men Find that aesthetic, charming, sexy, sexual. So bouncing back to the earlier comment in regards to being sharp and clean and so on and so forth, yeah, you can play that game. But if you like to be a bit more rough and ready, if you're a bit of a rock and roller, if you're a bit of a seducer, want to go for the Casanova, the rake, you might have something within this field. I'm signing out.